Welcome to Drawing on your iPad with Procreate, my tutorials for teaching you how to use your iPad as a go-to drawing tool. Today's lesson, sketching with charcoal. Hello artists, welcome. It's time to draw with Jeff. So get your iPads out and open up Procreate and follow along. What you'll see here on your screen on the left-hand side is the over-the-shoulder camera view of my work in progress and the iPad and all my objects. And on the right-hand side, you'll see the iPad display as I see it with the tools across the top, toggle bars, the things that I'll be working with all the time. Now, this technique I'm going to teach you is really simple. It's a basic 1-2 process of making a mark and erasing a mark. But in this case, the brush tool and the eraser tool will be set to the same brush texture. And in that case, when you do a drawing and erase, there's no smudging. It looks like the texture that you're drawing with. And that looks great when you're printing, and it's a very convincing imitation of a charcoal drawing when you're done. So let's get familiar with the brushes we're going to use. First thing to do is make a new canvas. To do so, you go to the gallery, you click on that, and then you look for the plus sign on the right-hand side. If you tap that, you pick your new canvas. In this case, I generally go screen size, which gives me a new white canvas that goes edge to edge on my iPad screen. The next thing is to choose a brush tool. You'll see the brush icon right there. You tap that, and it gives you access to your brush library. There's all kinds of choices, sketching, water, painting, but in this case, we're going to keep the sketching, and we're going to use something called soft pastel. Now I've got it chosen here at the top. You might find it somewhere down below. It's very easy to move a brush you want to the top. You can just select it, click and hold, and then drag it, and you can put it in a new location. Once again, I'm going to choose soft pastel here and show you what that mark looks like. Nice and soft. Now you've got two toggles on the right hand side to control that brush. The top one is for the size of the brush. You can see I make a small brush point. Put that down there. And the bottom one is for the opacity. That's where it's a full solid 100% opacity. That's what that looks like. And if I lower it to 50%, it's a little softer. If I bring it down even lower to like 10%, it's very light. It's very hard to make a very dark mark when it's a low opacity, so it's a very safe way of going about it. Next thing I want you to do is choose an eraser. Now, that's your eraser tool. I've selected it. I tap it again, it brings up the library of brush tips for my eraser. Now here you see I've chosen soft pastel also, so that my eraser matches the texture of my brush. We're going to test that out. I'm going to go back onto the canvas. Let's make my nib 100%, and we'll go kind of large right there. And I'm just going to brush that away a little bit. You see the texture of the mark that I first put down is still left behind. And that's a really great way of controlling how your drawing looks and not getting too harsh with it. I'm going to go ahead and erase everything right here, and we'll get started. Pick my brush tool. Now, I've chosen these white objects here. I use these in class a lot. They help my students focus on tone and volume rendered with just one color. And in this case, if you see the colors we have here, to find colors, you go to the upper right hand side. You see that circle, you tap that. That brings you your color wheel. You can just drag your color all the way to the bottom here. If you put it up there, of course, you see the new colors there. But if you go all the way to the bottom where it's solid black, that's what your mark will look like. Now we tap down here, and we're going to start drawing our mug here. I think we're going to use a nice soft tip just to get things started. I'm not going to worry about being very clean or perfect here. The idea is just to get these marks down, rough out the shape of my object, and just fill in my tonal values. They don't have to be tight. Let's go with a real wide brush for this side here. I'm going to go over the line a little bit. We'll do one on that side. And let's zoom in. I think it's a good thing for my students to learn how to pinch and zoom. It allows you to get close into your work and make finer marks. Let's bring the point size of this down a little bit so it's something easy to work with. and we're going to put some definition to this drawing. You can see I'm going to move kind of fast. That's a little sloppy. Let's hit the undo button right here. Is a little undo button, and I don't like that mark. I'm going to take it away. Got the inside rim of this cup. Make the tip bigger. Now if I raise the opacity up a little bit for a darker mark, make the tip bigger. Let's make the point a little bit smaller again here and go back to this side. So we have our mug roughed out right there. Now, the next thing we do is choose our eraser tool, and we're going to make a smaller nib. We're going to start cleaning up. Take away some of his harsh lines. Clean up the outside edges. So I'm fluidly going back and forth with my tools to get some marks in there. Wider. Now, let's go back into the eraser tool, make a small lib, zoom in a little bit, do some more cleanup. So you can see the texture I'm retaining at the bottom. Let's go and lighten this up here. Undo that, a little broader. We got a nice light tone coming in here. Now let's go sharpen up this inside edge of the mug. Bring the points nice and tight. And come in here like this. Gotta zoom in here and just pop this line, make it nice and sharp. So now we have a finished drawing. Basically get the tones and volume worked out with this charcoal tip, and that's a quick and easy way to use basically a brush and eraser just to get the same texture down. Very quick, very easy. Now, thanks for watching. Check our next video out. We're going to do more refined work on this, and I'll teach you how to do a little bit more tighter cleanup on this.